Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Ronan the Accuser figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beast we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
There's a quick look at the artwork on the right side of the box, picture of the figure on the left, and there's a quick look at the back of the box. All right, let's bust this bad boy open and see what's what. All right, here we go. Ronan, aka Ronan the Accuser, who first appeared in Fantastic Four number 65 in August of 1967. Ronan was created by writer Stan Lee and artist Jack Kirby. Originally in the comics, he was the supreme accuser of the Kree Empire, which is a sort of militaristic, sort of like North Korea faction of the Kree Empire. He is a Kree, or his species is Kree. This is actually our second comic-based Ronan the Accuser in the life of the Marvel Legends line. Our third in totality, as we did get an MCU version of Ronan. I hated his look in the movie. But yeah, we know the deal here in terms of this look. This is mostly a reuse. It looks like the, I guess that was the Warlock Build-A-Figure Wave Colossus body. I do think this is a good reuse for this character. Brand new head sculpt. The shoulder pads are new. These are actually removable. I'm surprised they came attached in this windowless packaging. But yeah, you can see they peg in there. When you remove them, you can see a little more clearly how the head is attached and also how this is basically Colossus. But again, I'm not mad at them using the Colossus buck for Ronan here. The head does pop off. Here's a look at the peg. What I am mad about is the lack of accessories. They're basically trying to pawn this off as a Build-A-Figure, deluxe size figure, single pack, so you don't have to go through all of the rigmarole of collecting several figures to build him. But then he's not packed in with much of anything. At the very least, he could have had an additional sort of angry gritted teeth version of this head sculpt. As surprisingly, the head does have some articulation. I didn't think it'd be able to move at all. You saw it was on a ball peg, but you can move it left to right. You could pop it off and move the ball peg and then position it a little different. Being that the shoulder pads are soft, sort of pliable plastic, and they peg in with softer pegs, then you can manipulate the arms and shoulders and what have you. But I'm jumping the gun here a little bit in terms of articulation. He's packed in with his iconic hammer known as the universal weapon. When he brings the hammer down, then you have been charged as guilty and death is the sentence. Now, I think they did a great job with the hammer in terms of making it very lightweight, so it's no issue with him holding it. The arm is not going to kind of start to move its way down if you have him holding the hammer up, but it's not really a lot of detail on the hammer. It looks very plasticky, and that concludes everything that he's packed in with. No additional head, no additional hands. I mean, they could have even included like some sort of striking effect or swooshing effect to put on the hammer. Nothing. And to me, that's unacceptable. Now, I love the way this guy looks overall, but like I always say, heads and hands make the figures. Unique heads and hands means that you need multiple heads and hands, and this is a very unique head sculpt, so some variation would have been great. These are unique hands. I don't think we've ever had this color, at least. I don't know if the actual sculpt is brand new, but if you look closely, there are some like little ridges on what appears to be a fully gloved hand up to the forearm, and the hand is a separate part, but you cannot pull a hand out. Unfortunately, I tried. Why they would go back to the fixed hand in this mold, I don't know. Maybe I'm not pulling hard enough. I don't know. Somebody else let me know. I haven't watched any other reviews of this figure, so I don't really know what's going on in that regard. But just fists, open jazz hands, anything for when he's swinging the hammer with one hand. Variety, Hasbro, come on. Again, I like the look. It's a more classic look for Ronan, similar to his early appearances, not the more modern look when he became more of a hero in the books. This is more during the time when he was depicted as a villain, but you know, in more modern times, he actually married Crystal. He became more of a hero. He had joined the Annihilators, and I often talk about the possibility of completing that team, but this actually wouldn't really be the right look for him when he was running around with that team. So Colossus mold means it's not the greatest range of articulation. I would have loved them to swap out the arms and do double jointed elbows here. If it's one thing I can't stand, it's like sword wielding or hammer wielding, axe wielding characters that don't have double jointed elbows. He can barely rest the hammer on his shoulder here. And even the fact that the left wrist articulates kind of up and down, this is pretty much as far up as it'll go. That'll allow you to sort of rest it on his shoulder here. But yeah, ball jointed shoulders, you can move them around and then just reposition the shoulder pads if you need to. Upper bicep swivel, single jointed elbow. The hinge on the wrist, like I said, moves up and down on the left hand, and it rotates and moves the traditional way on the right hand. Ab crunch, forward, back, waist swivel. He'll be hindered just a little bit by the belt and the back and side portions of his little tunic or whatever this is, but the legs still can come up pretty far. Upper thigh swivel. He does have double jointed knees, and there is rotation here right below the cuff of the boot. I don't remember if Colossus had that. I'll have to break him out, obviously. And then a hinge and a pivot on the feet. But essentially what you have here is a good figure. Not a great figure. Could have been a great figure with the addition of some accessories, and they could have swapped out the legs and arms here and given us pinless legs and arms, double jointed elbows and knees. But as this relates to the other comic based Ronin that we have that Hasbro put out as a Build-A-Figure, this is certainly the better of the two. I'll show you. So no doubt about it, some stark contrast here between the old Build-A-Figure and this new single deluxe box set figure. Absolutely, Hasbro outdid themselves with this newer version. While he still leaves a bit to be desired, you can see how wonky and ridiculous the old Build-A-Figure is, not to mention that you needed quite a few figures to complete this guy, if I'm not mistaken, and he was going for a lot of money on the secondary market. I'm sure that with the release of this new Ronin, that price has started to drop. And some nice detail on the old hammer, but very small and not really comic accurate. I really don't know what they were thinking about with this design, period. You could remove the helmet on the old one, which reveals this very weird undetailed face, and I don't really know why you would want to do this, but you can just kind of sit the head on there. It won't pop on there as the peg hole for the head is a lot smaller than the peg, and you can do that as well. So I did break out Colossus. Two things to note: that you could pop out the hands. But a few quick size comparisons. There's Tiger Shark on the left because I already had him out from the Yondu review. The old Hasbro Build-A-Figure, the new Ronin, next to his base buck, which was Colossus. And there he is next to the modern Blast Star that we got in the Thanos Imperative box set, if I'm not mistaken. Super Scroll Build-A-Figure on the right. And there he is next to Yondu on the far left, which I just reviewed. The original Terrax Build-A-Figure. I didn't even bother trying to pick up the 2-pack version. He deserved a brand new figure from Hasbro. And the Krrsantan Build-A-Figure on the far right. I hope us getting Ronin will mean that we will get a new Kree soldier army builder at some point as well. All right, final one here, and I'm gonna get up out of here. We have, pretty sure that's the classic retro carded Mr. Fantastic on the left, but the Walgreens exclusive Thing. Still arguably one of the best Marvel Legends figures of the modern time. The 3-pack Gambit with the old Toy Biz Gambit coat, and the MCU Tom Holland Peter Parker from the Peter Parker and Ned 2-pack. So again, Ronin, good reuse, good figure, not great. Hasbro is giving less and less and asking for more money. $1 here, $1 there. I think this figure was like $50-something, which again, a Build-A-Figure sized figure coming single boxed is great, but give us the extra accessories needed to justify the price tag and go the distance with the sculpt. The articulation, certainly underwhelming, but really towing the line because I do like the look of the figure. Even with all of that said, this is one I would still recommend for building out your cosmic characters for the Marvel Universe. If you never had the opportunity to pick up the old Build-A-Figure, then great, because this is surely better than that. But like I said, leaving a bit to be desired. All right, thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell down there. And until next time, peace.
I'm in the game, I'm grinding. I got to play 24 hours in a day, 7 days out the week. I never sleep. I'm on my grizzly bear, 52 weeks out the year. Yeah.